How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary?
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable.
Wait a minute. So you telling me the cost of living is rising day to day to day? The cost of mortgage and rent and food and clothes and water and all of that is steady rising. But one thing that ain't rising is minimum wage.
The cost of living in the UK is out of control, like wildly out of control.
The cost of living in Canada is sick. There is no more cost of living. There is only cost of surviving. My girlfriend and I met for coffees the other day, and she owes a little bit of money to the government, and she was crying to me, saying, I don't know what to do. I'm working 3 jobs. I'm a single mother. Like, I can't afford to live here anymore.
Can we talk about the rising cost of living? Because this isn't normal anymore at all. How do we get to this point? Like, how are people even surviving right now? Y'all, this is getting out of hand. Rent is up, groceries are ridiculous, gas is on a roller coaster, and minimum wage still stuck like it's 2012.
So she had a call with the CRA, and the CRA ripped her apart. They said it is unacceptable that you have not maxed out your credit cards to pay us. It is not acceptable that you are paying $1,000 a month in groceries for yourself and your 3 children. You need to cut back. So she said to them, you're telling me that you want me to take the food from my children's mouth to pay your greedy ass, when it's your fault that fucking groceries are astronomically priced right now. We are all in this together. We are all suffering together.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the, you can go buy a car for, shut up, you can't, shut up, stop saying ridiculous things. An entry-level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k, because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it.
First of all, it's not just one country. From the US to the UK, Canada, Australia, South Africa, everyone's feeling it. And it's affecting every single aspect of our lives. Your groceries really are double what they used to be. Housing, forget about it. Rent prices are eating entire paychecks and leaving people choosing between food or light bills.
Later. So after those 2 things come out of their paycheck and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a 1-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry-level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy, that car payment's $579 a month.
I'm from the state of Louisiana, y'all, and our minimum wage hasn't changed in years. Y'all ready for this big old number that our minimum wage is set for our state? $7.25 is what the minimum wage is in the state of Louisiana. I know some of y'all say I'm country and I'm sound funny. Y'all can't understand what I'm saying, so I'm going to say it again. $7.25 is what the state of Louisiana has set for minimum wage, with the cost of everything going up. I do realize every state has a different cost of living. I understand, it costs you even more in certain states to even live. But y'all, think about it. Somebody who is set that makes $7.25 these days and time, y'all, they're gonna have to use the government in order to survive. How much can you do with $7.25? Even after working 40 hours a week, what can you do with $7.25? Not much. So you're going to need the government to chip in the other half just for you to still be broke. I can remember a time, y'all, when making $15-$20 an hour, you was bankroll after bankroll. Now that $15-$20 is just basically like you making the $9-$10 that we was making back in the day that we was able to do more with. Now $15-$20 is like, you know, like you only making 8 or 9 because the cost of everything is so high that it's sucking that money out of your wallet. Enough people ain't talking about it, y'all, but y'all know I ain't telling no lies. It's 100% actual, factual that, you know, this economy right here is at its worst. Right?
I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her 1-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that 1-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment, you got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt.
People are working multiple jobs and still can't afford peace. And wages completely disconnected from reality. It's like the world just kept going up and we're still stuck at the bottom of the elevator. The idea of saving more is out the window because what are we saving from? There's nothing left to save.
Just went to Tesco's and did like a really small shop. I got like a bag of food and not even like the amount of food that you could use to make a proper meal. Just bits like salad, fruit, some milk, some rice crackers, some crackers. What else did I get? Laundry detergent, but not the fancy one because I never buy the fancy one because I refuse to spend like £5 on laundry detergent. So I got the, like the Tesco own brand one. Anyway, guess how much this one bag of shopping cost me? £45. Cost me £45. Can you believe that? And like, who else remembers the good old days when security tags were reserved for, you know, department stores and perfumes and luxury items, clothing, expensive items that people couldn't afford to buy or things that people could steal and make a profit from, right? Now we have security tags on food. On one of the 3 essential things that human beings need to live. You know, shelter, food, and water. You have to have food to stay alive, and there are people out there that have to steal it because they cannot afford to pay for it. And we're meant to be like a first world country. This is insane. And I'm not talking fancy food. I'm not talking Tesco's Finest or Waitrose. I'm talking just plain chicken. Raw chicken. Security tagged. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. This country is a mess. It's a joke. And something needs to be done about it. Like, I don't know about the economy and stuff like that. But surely there is something that the government can do to, I don't know, reduce the price of food, to take away some of the burden of the cost of living for the poorest people out there. Because I do not know how some people who don't have jobs and things like that, I don't know how they survive. I don't know how they do it.
Let's not even start on the anxiety and the constant pressure to keep up while barely holding on. A lot of us are suffering in silence. We're living in an economy that wasn't built to support the average person. Y'all, the system is broken. Everything has gone up except the one thing that matters most, our income. And honestly, I'm tired. Let's continue in the comments.